In today's video, we're going to be reviewing Uncut Gem by Frederic Malle, which I got a free sample of when I purchased an Andy Tower bottle. They offered a couple of free samples. This was one of the options to choose from. So I picked it. Yeah, I smelled it briefly in Manchester a couple of weeks ago, very briefly in passing, but I've been wearing it and testing it out. I'm not a Frederic Malle fanboy. I'm really not interested in the brand particularly. I'm not attracted to their perfumes overall, even their more cult classics like Musc Ravageur and Portrait of a Lady. Some of them are okay. I don't love any of them, so I'm not really concerned about the brand personally. This one gets a bad reaction from the people that do love the brand. I feel like I'm unbiased in the sense that I just don't care. What I get from this is something a little scratchy, a little harsh, a little sharp in the opening. There's a little bit of spice. There's a kind of a slight freshness. There's a couple of spices listed in the note breakdown: ginger and nutmeg. In general, it smells quite masculine. It smells like I say, a little bit fresh, a little bit spiced, and kind of how I would describe this as it transitions is a big dose of woody amber molecules. I'm not going to say kind of which molecules, like, you know, ambroxan or whatever, but that kind of vibe. Woody ambers, very kind of potent, strongly synthetic amber molecules, modern amber accords. You get a big dollop of that throughout the core of the fragrance, I would say, with some slightly sharp woody notes. So I get amber woody molecules, slight sharp woody notes, with this slight hint of a spiciness, and again, kind of more masculine leaning, I would say. And the whole thing on my skin is wrapped up in a big bubble of a very kind of neutral kind of musk. It's not like a white musk, it's not like a soapy musk, it's a very neutral smelling musk, but very perceivable. You get it's almost like a cloud or a shimmering kind of bubble over the whole fragrance, a bit like a cocoon of this very, like I say, neutral kind of musk, which envelopes the entire thing. I'll read you the official note list that they give for this on the Frederic Malle website. Ginger, bergamot, mandarin orange, angelica, nutmeg, vetiver, frankincense, labdanum, leather, musk, and ambers. To me, I don't get much of the mandarin and orange apart from, like I say, the opening being a little bit fresh, but it's definitely not juicy or fruity in my opinion. So those are a little bit more subtle on my skin. Even on the paper, I don't get much of that. You get a little bit of the, like I say, the spice, an overall slight freshness, but it's immediately backed by these more synthetic, it's less natural frankincense and labdanum there, but the biggest kind of hit that you get is the synthetic ambers. These synthetic woody ambers are up front, I would say, with a slight, like I say, sharp some kind of woody molecule that's a little bit piercing, a little bit sharp, wrapped up in a cocoon of musk. Leather is listed as a note. I'm not sure I particularly get leather. In my notes I wrote kind of maybe a slight vibe as it dries down, but I wasn't sure whether that was maybe even a side effect of some of the amber notes, that the leather vibe might come apart, like that it's not actually an individual accord placed as a leather accord, but more of an illusion created by the ambers. I'm not quite sure. I kind of get what they mean, but I wouldn't say it's a leather fragrance by any stretch of the imagination. But you get a hint maybe of that kind of vibe as it dries down. But to me, like I say, the biggest core of the whole fragrance is the woody amber molecules in this that are definitely, obviously, more synthetic, and it smells more synthetic. It smells very modern. It smells more like a designer perfume to me. If this was in a designer fragrance, then fine. It's a bit out of place in probably the Frederic Malle collection, to be honest. I can see why fans of the brand would be disappointed by this, but at the same time, it's mass appealing. It's mass appealing, although people, like the people that love Frederic Malle, might hate on it. It smells good for a normal, worldly person. When I smelled it on my own skin, I thought, yeah, that's like loads of people will love that. Like, it smells good. Whether you like the amber molecules or not is just a taste and a personal opinion. And if you've got a more of a niche nose, you might have less capacity for enjoying those kinds of materials. To the average person, this will smell good because that kind of material is popular. Like I say, it's widely used in designer fragrances and it's widely loved by millions of people. So it's mass appealing, it's likable, you could wear it to work, you could wear it dressed up. It's a little bit, like I say, a bit more masculine in the feeling that it gives, but I'm sure there'll be lots of women that would wear it quite happily. There's not much to talk about in the dry down apart from it kind of fades away and gets softer. It doesn't change much, it just kind of dries down as is with maybe a tiny hint of sweetness. To me, not overly inspired, but definitely mass appealing. A lot of people will like it. Case in point, when I went to see my sister, I was wearing this and she says her reaction to this one was, "Ooh, you smell nice." That was literally her reaction, like, ooh, that's nice. Like, she liked it immediately. And I think most people that really haven't got a knowledge basis of perfume but kind of casually collect or like to wear perfume or smell perfume without like knowing too much, so to speak, a lot of people will like it. For a niche person that knows these kind of more synthetic molecules and has a bit more of a, what you might call a refined taste, might not enjoy this one so much, as I guess the reaction is with a lot of people that kind of hate on it. I don't hate it, I don't love it, I don't feel much towards it at all, to be honest. I'm pretty indifferent. To me, it's quite average. I think if you like the more kind of modern amber fragrances with a little bit of spice in the opening, you might love it. If these kind of molecules give you a headache, then you might get a headache or it might make you sneeze. In terms of performance, sillage projection was quite good in the first couple of hours, with a total longevity of around 6 hours before you'd kind of probably want to reapply or not. So to me, it's autumn winter fragrance. I would say it's not really suitable for the hot weather. Autumn, winter, daytime or nighttime, it's quite versatile in when you might wear it. I can imagine this honestly being a signature scent for a lot of people. Like I say, most of the world is going to think it smells good in the air, and you might get reactions like, "Ooh, that's nice," like my sister had to it. For a niche collector, for someone that's got a bit more, you know, need from their perfume, so to speak, probably not going to do much for you. I find it a little bit boring. It gives me a little bit of a headache. Hope you enjoyed the review. That's the best way I can describe it. A little bit spicy and fresh in the opening, drying down into some sharp, abrasive, modern amber musks. Like I say, wrapped in that kind of musky cocoon. Very modern, very designer kind of smelling to me, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon with another one. Take care. Bye.
One time he disappeared for 2 or 3 days. When he came back, they asked him where he'd been, and he said, "Oh, just sailing."